Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have Mark in the house, and he is a businessman, actor, and done many different things. We've only got 12 minutes now, so we're going to have to make this quick. But Mark, nice to have you here today.
Hello, mate. Yeah, good.
So tell us your journey, your story.
So my journey is, I'm 52 now?
Really?
I am, yeah.
You look,
Thank you.
You married?
I was up until 3 years ago, yeah.
Okay, you got kids?
20 years married, 3 kids, yeah, grown up. They're my kids 21, 19 and 16.
What's your heritage? You like Italian or something?
No, that's the thing. Maybe that's what helps. I'm very, very mixed. My mum's French, Anglo-Indian. My dad's Chinese American.
Oh, is
and
it?
I've got a German surname, so yeah.
Yeah, so man.
All over the place. Yeah, basically when I was in my teens, 20s, I basically did lots of different things. I was in a band, sort of doing music. I was like modelling. I did sort of a lot of modelling stuff. Alexander McQueen, Paul Smith, Machino, just did like loads of shows, loads of big magazines, ID.
Was this in the 80s?
90s.
In the 90s, okay.
Yeah. Doing lots of bits and pieces, but wanted to do music, obviously did a bit of acting, this and that. Just wanted to do something creative and interesting.
How did you find that's high fashion, yeah?
Yeah.
How did you find that? In being in that industry?
Well, I never took it very seriously. I was just because I knew I wanted to be. I was doing music and in a band. You'd meet lots of people that were very, very hardcore, ambitious, wanted to be in that industry, in fashion industry. Whereas I didn't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? I just sort of, did what I want to do and just turn up, and then leave, and that was it, really. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that helped. I don't know. But I fully respect that industry, and I love fashion and all the work that goes into it and the glamour of it and all that sort of stuff. But it can be quite bitchy scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just if you're in, you're in, right? If you're not, you're not in. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I hear you, mate. I hear you.
So so I was doing all that, but I was trying to do music, but. Equally, while I was doing music and doing all these other bits and pieces, I worked in a bar and or in a coffee shop. Actually, I worked in a coffee shop making cappuccinos, a place in Soho, and then I went and worked in a bar which the guys that owned the coffee shop had, and I basically went to work there, and they said, "Oh, you need to start collecting glasses first." So I was collecting glasses for a few weeks. And then they let me behind the bar, and then I started sort of working behind the bar, and then while my music career wasn't taking off, I was sort of quite enjoying being in this bar environment. It was quite good fun, and so I was starting to take that a bit more seriously. Then they offered me, I'd been working there like a year and a half, and I was pretty good. It was like it's fun. And they said, look, the manager's leaving. Do you want to be the new manager? And I was like, no, not really, because that's far too serious. I'm a musician. I want to do this and I want to do that. And they're like, oh, you'd be really good. Look, you should do it. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I thought, actually, maybe I should do it for a bit. I said, I'll do it for a bit, and if I hate it, then I'm just going to leave. And then I took the job on, loved it. I thought, God, I really like this.
What was it you loved about it?
I don't know. I just loved the thought of people coming into your space, and you control it, and you have to make sure everything is working. So the customer's always got to have a drink. Everything's like work good. Look, it sounds good. It's just so many different parts. You got staff. You just it was just like a little military operation that you had to sort of perform every night. And the adrenaline rush of obviously when you close, and it was like, wow, that was great, and so that I sort of started doing that, and it was doing really well. I was doing really well.
This was in Soho. This
was in Soho, and then they offered me another job at their bigger place in Hoxton, so I went and did that, and then I
to jump in there. Were you around in Soho when that bomb went off? Remember the guy, the bomber?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You was around
probably
there?
Before then, I'm talking mid-90s, do you know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah, definitely. And then I went to Hoxton, did that, enjoyed it, and then it was time to sort of find my own place, really, and then I sort of started searching for my own gaff to open up and do, and then I basically the guys that I worked for were like, no, you can't leave, you should do it with us. And I was like, oh really? And they were like, yeah. And then I found a place, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to show them. And I showed them, and they were like, yeah, we love it, let's do it together. And then we ended up doing it together.
Wait, is this the staff or the management?
The guys that own the original bar.
Okay, they saw your value.
Yeah.
They said, well, if we can't,
they thought he's good.
We can't beat him. We need to team up with him.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And they could see that I was very ambitious and I was very hardworking, and which is kind of what they weren't, And and we kind of went on from there. Really, we went up and then we started building we got up to like 30 places, pubs, bars, restaurants,
really?
all around London. Yeah. And then 10 years ago, whilst we had all these pubs and bars, we decided to make our own beer. And then I sort of accidentally bumped into an old mate who happened to be making his own beer, and he was had all these plans and ideas. And it was called Camden Town Brewery. And I said, we want to make our own beer. He's like, oh, I've got plans, I've got the joy. We met up the next week. We signed up, we went halves, and we
So you teamed up with him?
With him as a
just
fourth
where
partner.
they teamed up with you?
Yeah.
So you've got your syndicate?
Yeah. And then so we built this brewery in Camden, and it still is the biggest selling independent lager in the country.
What's the name? Shout out?
Camden Town Brewery.
Camden Town Brewery.
Brewery, and it's Camden House, Camden Pale Ale. And and then we sold it to the biggest brewer in the world, AB InBev, for a shitload. That was after 5
so
years.
I'm sitting in a car of a multi-millionaire.
After 5 years.
After 5 years?
Yeah.
So you sold that beer, but you still got your bars?
Still kept the bars. I probably sold 13 last year after pandemic.
So how did you cope during the pandemic?
Awful. It was bad. 25 years of doing bars and restaurants, and it was literally all over. We sort of scraped through by the skin of our teeth, really. And now I've got 4 or 5 places, and sort of growing back again. But we lost a lot. And then we ended up with loads of debt, and do you know what I mean? Which you have to pay back. No one's helping you out with that.
But the government should be responsible.
Well, they lent money, but they didn't. They want it back. Do you know what I mean? So we weren't given anything. Do you know what I mean? So that's it. You just sort of straddled with debt. That's why I sold quite a lot of places last year, that had been sort of building for 25 years. And then you sort of start again, really. And then my wife ran off with someone else, and then so she divorced me. And it's been
cliche, isn't it? It's cliche.
COVID, wife leaves.
I'm not happy anymore. Give me all your money.
She went for it, big time.
Yeah,
big time.
Even though you did all the work. Yeah.
And she's never worked in her life, nothing. And,
really?
No, she never has to ever again.
Yeah, Jesus, man. Listen, it's been a great interview. We're at the end of the journey.
Thank you, mate.
What have you learned from all these experiences that you could share?
I've learned, and I'm still learning, is that no matter what shit gets thrown at you, and what you have to deal with is all probably for a higher and better purpose. So, it's like if something doesn't work, or it's tough or hard, and it doesn't happen, it's probably because something better is going to happen, and something bigger. That's what I've learned.
Well, thanks a lot to that. Remind if anybody wants to frequent your bars, what's the name of the bars?
It's Mare Street Market in London Fields, gas station in King's Cross, the Starman in Heddon Street, just off Regent Street, and there's another new Mare Street coming in King's Cross later this year.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for that. We wish you well.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.